One. And my name's Prue Blackmore, and I'm on my own page, but I'm speaking to you about being on the frontier this morning. Now, I'm just making sure it's kicking in, and there we go. Good morning, everyone. My name's Prue Blackmore, and I'm speaking to you this morning on my own page, but on behalf of the Healing Ground Collective. And I'm speaking to you about the program that's rolling out on September the 22nd called Being on the Frontier. It's rolling out on the spring equinox here in the Southern Hemisphere. And why would we choose that date? Well, for a long time, before science took over the world, throughout many ancient and long-living cultures, from our own Aboriginal population here in Australia, to the Sumerians, to the Aztecs, to the Neolithic people of Ireland and Scotland, to the Mayan, extraordinary astronomers, the Celts and wise women of their day who had the 13-month lunar calendar that fell in cycle with the rhythms of women's bodies. All of these people, all of these ancient people who went before us knew of the significance of certain days of the year. As the wheel turned from spring to summer, from summer to autumn, from autumn to winter. And the inherent power of such days, of solstice and equinox, vast buildings and monuments and things that were misinterpreted by modern man as burial pits were in fact vast astronomical gateways of understanding the world in which we are a part. So we're simply capitalising on the energy of an equinox day, where it is exactly half light and half day, to begin our journey. As more and more knowledge comes into our being, as we challenge the story, the farcical story, let's be honest, we've been told by the history of Earth and the history keepers, and it is a farce, to be quite honest. Nothing that you are told about history, very little you are told about science, nothing you are told about religion, and all of its unfolding of all these stories is actually true. The story you have been told about yourself as a human being is equally untrue. You have been told that you are small, inconsequential in the scheme of things, a grain of sand on an endless beach. You have been told, according to your class and gender, what you can achieve, what you can attain, what you can aspire to, even while being fed the lie of the meritocracy, that if you work hard enough, it can all be yours. And that's a profound lie, okay? No, it can't. The decks are well and truly stacked against most humans on the planet in all the stories that you are given in your culture, your religion, your law and privilege. So what is the story about for you personally? What can't you have? What can't you feel, be or do? What script was laid down in you by your well-meaning, well-intentioned parents who had the same thing done to them ad nauseum back through the generations when humanity was being terrorised by the current group of psychopaths running the world? What admonitions were given to you as women, to not to rock the boat, to play small, to don't shine, because we all carry memories that if you do that, they will come and burn you if you don't obey and do as they request. The whole purpose of being on the frontier is to help you understand that you are not your story. I repeat, you are not your story. But as long as you believe it, without challenge, you will live out that script, constrained and contained, as it were. So who is this for? Who's this Being on the Frontier program for? It's for those who want to cast off the story, to examine their life, as Socrates urged us to do when he explained to us that the unexamined life is the life not lived. It is for those who wish to discover the truth of their divine nature and power as a creator that has always existed underneath that incredibly limiting story you have been fed. It is for those who are ready to say enough, to breathe deep and rise, to get up off their knees, recognizing it is unworthy of the great souls that they are. It is for anyone who understands that the world as we know it is collapsing. And we are only at stage 1 of the collapse of civilization, dear ones. We are at the ignition point. There are 4 more to come, and they will come swiftly. It is for those who recognise that all they know and have taken on in the story about themselves is not going to serve them in the new age and the tempest unfolding. These are very uncomfortable times. Everything we know is changing. Change brings chaos, and change is the only constant. So this course is for those who understand that we are going to have to learn a whole new way of being, to question everything we think we know, to stand in the discomfort of challenging all that in order to unshackle themselves from the story and grow. We are all hungering for it, whether we appreciate that or not. Our discomfort, our anxiety, our questioning, it's all that, what's going on, the urge to break free. We are all on the threshold of a radical new way of being, and this course is for those who understand that and who wish to understand and develop a skill set that will allow them to adapt to what is unfolding before our very eyes. So that's who this course is for. Why would you do this? Because deep down you know it is time. We cannot keep blundering into the future in a world being run by psychopaths and monsters. We cannot keep acquiescing our power to such programming of helplessness and obedience. Humanity has been fed the lie and they fell for it. And we all sit passively by as our planet is destroyed, as our young and elderly and less or more disenfranchised are abandoned to consumerism, as our governments are run by thieves and charlatans, witnessing and stealing as the whole thing collapses around them. So you would do this to take back charge of your life, and you would do this to forge your own future. You would do this to unshackle yourself from victim consciousness and toxic people and relationships that reinforce your powerlessness. That's why you would do it. What will you gain? You'll gain insight to into what and who you really are. You will gain the freedom to express that in as wide a variety of choices as you can imagine. The ability to firmly, with a steady voice and a heart full of courage, say, no more. The wisdom to understand how manifesting actually works and how to apply yourself to that, to take charge of your life in a rapidly changing world. To not fear change, but to embrace it and all the liberating potential that it holds for you. To explore the possibilities that you arrived on this planet with your unique blueprint, and that continue to haunt your existence, as Merleau-Ponty would say, with love and joy. They're there. You will gain an ability to access those. What will it cost you in money and time? Well, quite frankly, it's dirt cheap, beloveds. Seriously. You are getting a lifetime of experience in psychiatry and mental health, shamanism, transpersonal paradigms, in counselling and art therapy, a life experienced in working in all those fields, and you're having it kind of hermeneutically pulled together and distilled down into a 9-month program that you can do at home. I think it's $29 a month, or $210 if you pay up front. What will it cost you? There are things to do every day and month by month. But while interesting and challenging, they are not arduous. And they are and will prove to be very informative about you who is doing them. If you use this process, you will change your life. It's that simple. It's a bit like a pair of glasses, though, really. They're all quite useless while they sit on the desk. But once you apply them to your being, everything becomes clear. So I just wanted to have a brief chat with you because it's just under a month now before it goes out. And we'd love to have you on board. There'll be a link attached to this as this video is shared around, and follow those links and you'll be able to join us on being on the frontier, on the threshold of change, on taking your life back. Talk to you soon, beloved.